Now in its third week, and this noon, law enforcement agencies are searching a creek. Our Jonathan Cotto is live at the scene and has the latest for us.
And today, a man facing a Bexar County courtroom. He stands accused of killing his own cousin. We have the details coming up.
Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
We want to start with the latest on the search for 3-year-old Lena Keel. A new lead taking this investigation into some new terrain. And we know the FBI's underwater search and response team has arrived from Washington, D.C. to assist San Antonio police in canvassing a creek that's not too far from where the little girl was last seen.
We have learned that creek is about a quarter-mile long and it runs parallel to Huebner Road. Our Jonathan Cotto now joins us live from the scene. So, Jonathan, give us an update on those efforts as they look for that little girl.
Good afternoon, David and Ursula. Well, this is the latest effort to find 3-year-old Lena Keel. The search brings San Antonio police and the FBI dive team to this scene. We have been able to see divers in the murky waters, and let me tell you, they've been combing through every inch of this area in hopes of finding anything. Now, you may recall Lena Keel did disappear from a playground within an apartment complex located on Fredericksburg Road on December 20th. Police tell us her mother walked away for a few minutes. When she returned, Lena was gone, and since then, search efforts have been ongoing and relentless. Today, the FBI dive is deploying technology that can detect debris not only in the murky waters, but also in mud and silt. And that's exactly what these terrain conditions are looking like. Now, Police Chief William McManus says that dive team is made up of 12 members who are experts in mapping out places like this creek and covering such a large area. Now, McManus also is telling us that they will go as far as they need to go to satisfy the leads that they're looking at right now. Now, it's important to note that this is an area that had not been covered up until now. I want to mention that the father did arrive. I had an opportunity to speak with him, but because of the language barrier, we weren't able to communicate. The search efforts are going to be ongoing, and we'll update you as more information is made available. Reporting from the city's northwest side, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. A murder trial underway today at the courthouse for a man accused of killing his cousin. Edison Karaman is charged with the March 2020 murder of his cousin Christopher Karaman. Edison is alleged to have done a drive-by shooting at a family gathering. The trial got underway yesterday. Currently, all jury trials are suspended because of the recent surge of COVID cases, but this trial was allowed to continue since the jury was already picked before the holidays. If found guilty, Karaman is facing up to life in prison.
4 people shot, 2 of those victims killed after gunfire rang out on Thanksgiving. And this noon, police are now hoping to track down whoever pulled that trigger. It happened on Sunrise Creek Drive. That's just outside of Loop 410 near Ben Zingelman Road. The 2 people who were killed were identified as 28-year-old Charles Wolford and 25-year-old Eugene Wolford. 2 women were also shot, one of them now paralyzed as a result of that shooting. We're told that witnesses saw the suspects in a white 4-door vehicle. If you know anything about this incident, you're being asked to call Crime Stoppers. The phone number to call, 210-224-STOP.
And a man is in the hospital after police say he was hit by the driver of a truck while he was walking on the city's west side this morning. This was a scene at the 600 block of Moriela and South General McMullen. Police say a driver in a gray truck tried to stop but was rear-ended by a driver in a car behind him. Ultimately, the person in the truck ended up hitting the victim. An ambulance took him to the hospital in critical condition. It's unclear if any criminal charges will be filed. No one else was hurt.
There has been a surge in COVID-19 cases now hitting Comal County. Today's latest total showing 300 more people have tested positive for the virus, and that brings the county total to 21,704. However, so far, Comal County hospitals are not seeing a major influx of patients. Hospitals caring for 32 COVID-19 patients, approximately 79 of those patients are unvaccinated. As a reminder, Comal County Public Health Department is administering Moderna COVID-19 vaccines for anyone 18 and older, Pfizer vaccines for anyone 5 years old and older. Booster vaccines also available, and you can make an appointment. The phone number to call, 830-221-1150. And cases also rising in San Antonio. Yesterday, more than 4,300 new cases were confirmed here. The numbers in our hospitals also rising. 533 COVID-19 patients are hospitalized, 116 are in the intensive care unit, and 47 are on ventilators.
Across the country, 28 states seeing their average daily cases at least double over the past week, and 112,000 people are currently hospitalized with COVID all over the U.S. As ABC's Rena Roy reports, this comes as the debate over schools continues.
As the country reports a stunning 828,000 new infections, another pandemic daily high following a holiday backlog and surging demand for tests, the debate over in-person learning rages on.
I encourage the states and school districts to use the funding that you still have to protect your children and keep the schools open.
Officials in Chicago echoing that sentiment, insisting hospitalizations across the city are low.
Our schools are safe. There is no evidence that our schools have ever been unsafe.
Still, classes canceled for its roughly 300,000 public school students after 73% of the teachers union voted for remote learning, arguing the surge in COVID cases makes classrooms unsafe.
Going into schools puts us at risk, puts our students and families at risk of contracting the coronavirus.
The Omicron variant is now estimated to account for 95% of new cases in the U.S. Today, the CDC's advisory panel voting on whether to recommend Pfizer's booster for teens ages 12 to 15. Shots in arms could come as early as Thursday. Meantime, the agency under fire for its evolving guidance, despite pushback not requiring testing for asymptomatic people to end isolation after 5 days, instead leaving it open, saying people who have access and want to test should do so, adding if positive on the 5th day, isolate for another 5. If negative, you can go out with a mask while making sure to avoid high-risk people, travel, and eating and drinking around others.
I think what CDC is feeling is the constraint of the fact that most Americans can't easily get a test. But from a science point of view, getting a test is the right thing to do.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
It is going to be warm today, but by tomorrow afternoon, we see some more significant changes with a cold front. We'll get you updated coming up.
Also coming up this half hour, Spurs rookie Josh Primo back home in Canada. Too bad there weren't any fans there to watch him. Still had a good game, though. Larry Mears with his highlights coming up. A shortage of childcare workers continues to be an issue nationwide, including here in San Antonio, leading to long wait lists for after-school programs and uncertainty for working parents.
At the YMCA of Greater San Antonio, they have close to 300 children who are on a wait list, waiting for an after-school program to open up, and they're looking for childcare workers to join the team.
Tiffany Huertas has a look at what's behind the staffing shortage.
The YMCA of Greater San Antonio serves over 60 elementary schools. We provide after-school education, and we're at currently like 40% capacity because we have such a staffing shortage.
That means many families are having to make tough choices.
We have over 270 children on our wait list.
Like many businesses across the country, the YMCA of Greater San Antonio is having trouble hiring childcare workers.
We had to unfortunately let go a lot of staff during COVID when we closed down a lot of our facilities, and then we've just had a really hard time being able to bring staff back since then.
In order to bring back the 270 kids to the after-school care programs, the YMCA of Greater San Antonio needs to hire about 10 to 15 childcare workers.
A lot of people are, trying to choose, do I want to stay home versus work right now? Some of it due to medical conditions, and COVID.
Shannon Gowan with the YMCA of Greater San Antonio says they have full-time and part-time positions available and offer other incentives. But with the rise in COVID cases, Shannon has concerns.
The last time we saw a rise in cases due to Delta, we had a couple of people leave us.
As families figure out what to do, Shannon says they hope to fill these positions soon. Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
Gonna look outside today, and all you're gonna want to do is spend the day out of doors.
Yeah, I said yesterday was really nice. I think today
nicer.
Might actually be a little nicer.
Yeah.
But it does change tomorrow. We get a cold front. It's going to get a little cooler, more breezy on your Thursday. The aquifer Still going down. Man, we could use some rain. Again, not a lot in the forecast. It's down a tenth of a foot to 662.9. In your pollen count, Mountain Cedar did jump up a little bit today. It's at 2,630, Mulder low at 340. We'll talk about that cold front plus another one this weekend coming up.
Hello everyone, this is your daily tech and business briefing from Cheddar News. More than 1,400 flights were canceled Tuesday. That as the airline industry continues to face disruptions. Carriers delayed more than 3,600 flights, as well as staffing shortages due to COVID-19 and inclement weather, extending the holiday disruptions the airline industry is suffering from. Since Christmas Eve alone, more than 20,000 flights have been canceled, while 1 out of 10 flights canceled just in the last 3 days. That according to FlightAware. Meanwhile, Alphabet executives are receiving some heavy raises in stock awards that following a massively successful 2021 for the company. Those raises in the $650,000 to $1 million range, and it includes stock awards worth tens of millions of dollars that will either vest over time or be incentives based on performance. That according to filings with the SEC. And Toyota surpassed GM as the top U.S. selling automaker in 2021 for the first time in history. The Japanese automaker outsold GM by 114,000 vehicles, seeing sales rise 10% year over year. The shift in sales comes from the fallout of the global chip shortage that has been dealing a huge blow to the vehicle industry. And that's your Cheddar News Business and Tech Update. I'm Baker Machado coming to you from Cheddar Studios in Lower Manhattan.
I'm trying to think if it was Katie Blake or Sarah Spivey that used the weather term Ditto Day. And this is like Ditto Day Plus. This is beautiful today.
Very
like
nice.
that.
I was saying it was like a seesaw week, so we have our own terminology.
Yeah, now, you know, however you want to say it, it's a pretty typical winter type week for us because we're getting some cold fronts, a lot of changes in those temperatures. But today, it is very similar to yesterday. It is a ditto day, I agree, and it's beautiful. We got blue skies and temperatures right at 70 degrees. We're going to be in the mid-70s this afternoon. Notice the dew point is at 40. Still on the dry side. I tried to come up a little bit this morning. We did see some patchy fog south and east of town. 69 Comfort, 63 Canyon Lake, 70 in Hondo, 70 Rio Medina, 73 Pleasanton. I mean, these numbers are really nice right now. 68 Del Rio, 71 in Gonzales. And just about everybody will be in the 70s today. Well, let's look at the dew points, though. You'll notice there is moisture, but it's relegated right to the coast. This area here in green, that's where there's a little more humidity, and that's where we saw some fog. There is a frontal boundary sitting just to our north right now. There's some drier air behind that, some slightly cooler air. This front actually does not push through San Antonio today. We'll get another surge tomorrow, and that's the one that will push through. It looks like right now, right around midday, and that's when you'll notice sort of some changes here. But with the front around Texas today, there is going to be a difference in temperatures, quite a difference between places like Amarillo, where they'll top out at 50 around 4 o'clock this afternoon, compared to Laredo, which will be close to 80. We're on the warm side of things here in San Antonio. Again, mid-70s for highs today with sunny skies. So that's t-shirt weather, right? As we get into tomorrow, once that front comes through, it turns cooler and breezy. So for your Thursday afternoon, it drops into the 50s. As you're getting those kiddos ready for school tomorrow, go ahead and pack them that coat because they might want it later in the day. It's not going to be bitterly cold, but you'll notice a change, and that northerly wind will kick in. The front timing here, we're thinking 10 a.m. to around noon tomorrow for San Antonio and the Hill Country. And then by the afternoon, it will have pushed through most of the viewing area. Temperatures will fall into the 50s, as we mentioned, some gusts to 30 miles per hour. And by Friday morning, we're going to be close to freezing here in San Antonio. Here's the big picture across the country, and a lot of the action continues to be to the north of us, well to the north. Some snow around the Great Lakes. We've got some snow in the plains as well. And this is the storm system that will help to push that front through for us tomorrow. We're not getting any rain out of it, though. That's sort of the bad part out of all this, just some gusty winds. And even with our next front on Sunday, it doesn't look like we're going to get a lot of rain with that either. So there's a front tomorrow morning on our doorstep, pushes through, breezy conditions tomorrow afternoon. And then as we get into Friday, clouds begin to increase. Moisture comes back very quickly, and I think we'll see increasing clouds by the afternoon. And then by Saturday morning, there's enough moisture there where we're going to get some fog, maybe some drizzle, and a few showers. And it'll be quite a bit warmer on Saturday as some warm air pushes in. That changes all again on Sunday with yet another front. And with this, again, not a lot of rain. It will mostly be to our east. Then it turns windy by Sunday afternoon and into Monday. So here's how it looks in the 7-day forecast. And there's a lot to look at here. 62 tomorrow, but keep in mind the temperatures will fall late in the day. 31 Friday morning, 53 for a high on Friday with increasing clouds. And then back in the 70s this weekend, some fog, drizzle, slight chance of a shower, turning windy on Sunday, and then cool yet again Monday and Tuesday with highs in the 50s and lows in the 30s, guys.
Thank you, Justin.
It's been so long since Larry's been here, it's almost feel like we got to introduce ourselves again.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. Glad you could make it today.
Hey, that's what happens when Simmons takes vacation.
Well, at least he took some.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, you know what? The Spurs played on the road last night at Toronto. Tonight they're going to be at Boston, and this could be huge for the Spurs. DJ could return tonight. And Becky Hammond said she had some sleepless nights debating whether to leave the NBA for the WNBA. Coming up.
It's great being able to come out here and be in my hometown, play in front of, some family and friends, but even so, just playing in this arena.
Spurs rookie Joshua Primo returned home to Canada last night, where he had around 20 family and friends in attendance in big board sports. The Raptors beat the Spurs last night, 129-104 in front of a nearly empty arena. No tickets were sold to the game. Only family and friends were allowed to attend as Ontario looks to control the spread of COVID-19. Now, the Spurs defense was not able to control Fred VanVleet, who scored a game-high 33 points on the strength of 7 made three-pointers. He went 7 for 14 from downtown. This game was tied 6 times until the Raptors pulled away in the second quarter when they led by 16. Their largest lead was 31. Spurs point guard DeJounte Murray is expected to be available tonight, and they really need him. The Spurs have lost 4 straight and 4 of 5 after Murray had to sit out due to health and safety protocols. Murray leads the Spurs in points and assists per game this season. Primo is definitely looking forward to Murray's return.
It's a sense of security having him there with what he's able to do. He's a rebounding presence. He's able to get into the teeth of the defense and kick out the guys. He helps us all get open shots. And then he's just a leader out there on the floor. So it's going to be great to have him. I think we're all going to feel a little bit better walking out there.
Fingers crossed he returns. The Spurs will play at the Boston Celtics tonight, 6:30 at TD Garden. Game 4 on the Spurs' 7-game road trip, their second longest road trip this season. Monday afternoon, Becky Hammond was officially introduced as the new head coach of the Las Vegas Aces, the franchise that used to be in San Antonio before they were purchased and moved to Las Vegas in 2017. Becky spent 8 years with the Stars in San Antonio before retiring in 2014, where she became the first full-time female assistant coach in the history of the NBA. Now she'll get to call the shots as a head coach.
A lot did go into this decision, a lot of sleepless nights, to be quite honest. But at the end of the day, this is a tremendous opportunity. Like I said, the leadership that Mark and Nikki and the direction that they want to take the organization, and not just the organization, but also the WNBA, is something that could not be ignored. And so after grappling many nights, honestly, over it, I can tell you, Pepper, too, when she first called, I had no intentions of leaving the NBA at this point, and after talking to her and wrestling and throwing around different ideas and stuff, obviously I came to the conclusion that this was the best spot for me and my family, and an opportunity for me to, sit in the big chair and be a head coach of a major professional sports league.
Hammond will remain with the Spurs for the rest of the season before moving to Las Vegas to take over the Aces.
That's going to be a big chair.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, I think the franchise out in Las Vegas still has some local fans. They're going to have a lot of local fans now because of Becky.
And she's inheriting a playoff team, too.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's going to have to rebuild. So she's got a quality team. Good.
Good step. Are you sick and stuck at home? A lot of people are. Time can seem like it's going by slowly when you're isolating to keep others safe. But with the right technology and maybe some good food, entertaining yourself doesn't have to be tough. Coming up today at 5, Marilyn Moritz is going to show you how to make the most of your sick time or isolation time at home. Switching back and forth between remote learning and in-person classes doesn't just shake up a child's routine. It can have a serious effect on their mental health. CNN's Elizabeth Cohen reports educators and parents across the country are noticing some of these effects, and they are more subtle, and they are because of the pandemic.
Like other families, the Kitleys in Chicago were thrilled when last fall their 4 children could finally go back to school. But halfway through the school year, there have been bumps in the road. Kitley, a therapist herself, sees the tension in her patients.
They are feeling increased anxiety around just how to be and communicate with people and build friendships and being able to feel comfortable in their environment.
Last month, the U.S. Surgeon General issued this 53-page advisory outlining how the pandemic has had an unprecedented negative impact on the mental health of children. One global study finding symptoms of youth depression and anxiety doubled. Atlanta area counselor Tisha Stovall-Dula says when children feel overwhelmed by the transition back to school, she offers them a safe place.
They'll often come to my office just to get a break from the noise. And I was very surprised by that they needed to come and get a break from the noise.
Her advice to parents, remember that if your children seem immature for their age, there's a reason. They missed out on more than a year of development with their peers.
I mean, my 12-year-olds, they still act so young. They're more like elementary school kids.
Missing a year to a year and a half of social interaction for a middle school student, that's a lot.
It was a lot.
And be patient with your child as they transition from one way of life to another.
Their world was turned upside down. As adults, we are able to bounce back quicker, usually faster. But for them, it's going to take a little more time.
That was CNN's Elizabeth Cohen reporting. Talks have stalled in Congress as lawmakers discuss whether businesses need additional COVID-19 relief. A bipartisan group of U.S. senators is looking at another possible economic stimulus package focused on businesses impacted by the pandemic, including restaurants, gyms, and performance venues. The discussions have been ongoing since cases of the Omicron variant started to spike last year. A House aide says none of its lawmakers are in serious discussions on the matter. A senior White House official also said they are not looking at another stimulus, but something small could be done for restaurants. The economy ended 2021 strong, at least according to the ADP employment report. 807,000 private sector jobs were added in December. That's more than double what economists had predicted. Leisure and hospitality gained the most with 246,000 positions. Trade, transportation, and utilities came in next with 138,000 jobs. According to ADP, Americans added 6 million total private sector jobs last year, but it was still down 4 million compared to pre-pandemic levels. The ADP report isn't related to government's official jobs tally, which is set to release on Friday.
Live look outside with live cam and check it out. 72 degrees, springtime weather today in January.
Feels great right now. And, we should be happy because there are parts of the country which are about 80 degrees cooler than we are right now. Here in Texas, we're doing pretty well. Florida is in the 70s too. But let me take you up to places like Montana. Look at these numbers. -11 at Cut Bank right now. It is -5 in Casper, Wyoming. So a lot of cold air is starting to spill out of Canada. It's not going to spill all the way down to Texas. So we'll feel some of it, but we're not going to get the brunt of it. And that cold air will move east. So there'll be some chilly numbers in places like Chicago and Omaha. Already is cold there. and they've got wind chills to speak of too. All the warm stuff's down here across Texas and Florida. As I mentioned, Miami, 77 degrees right now, one of the warm spots in the country. And you look across the state of Texas, there's a wide range of numbers here too. Cold front is sitting just to our north. It will not move through today, so we'll stay warm. But places like Amarillo sitting at 37. You compare that to Brownsville, which right now is at 79. So expect these wide ranges of numbers to continue through tomorrow until our next front sweeps through and brings cooler air to all of Texas. Right now, clear skies. We're going to see sunny skies throughout the afternoon. No rain, unfortunately. And this week, here's what you can expect. Sunny and beautiful today. Tomorrow, cold front, breezy. That should arrive by midday. And then for the weekend, temperatures warm back up. It'll be a warm Saturday, but we got another cold front on Sunday. So just have that KSAT weather app by you. We'll keep you updated because there will be a lot of back and forth here over the next 7 days or so. 75 degrees this afternoon, light and variable winds. Temperatures slip into the 60s and eventually 50s by 8 p.m. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. So the House Select Committee's investigation into the January 6th Capitol attack picking up some steam as we approach the one-year anniversary of the insurrection tomorrow. That panel expanding its request for more people to cooperate with the investigation. The latest, Fox News host Sean Hannity, who, according to private text messages the committee obtained from former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, allegedly show Hannity discussing conversations with Donald Trump and expressing his concerns before, during, and after the insurrection. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with a closer look.
Fox News host Sean Hannity's legal team already raising questions about a request from the House Select Committee reviewing the January 6th insurrection for the conservative commentator to voluntarily cooperate with their investigation. Hannity's lawyers saying they're very concerned about the constitutional implications, especially as it relates to the First Amendment. In a letter to Hannity, the committee painting him as a de facto advisor to Donald Trump, who has detailed knowledge regarding President Trump's state of mind as a mob of the former president's supporters staged a bloody attack on the U.S. Capitol last year. The committee alleging Hannity was communicating with Trump around the time of the insurrection and sent dozens of text messages to White House staff and other Trump allies expressing his concerns. According to the panel, the night before the riot, Hannity texted former Trump Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, quote, "I'm very worried about the next 48 hours. The next day, pro-Trump rioters stormed the Capitol, some using weapons to beat police officers, leaving 140 of them injured. By then, Hannity, according to the committee, was texting Meadows, quote, "Can he, Trump, make a statement, ask people to leave the Capitol?" Meanwhile, a year later, the FBI still trying to track down this unidentified suspect who placed bombs near the Republican and Democratic Party headquarters. Officials also trying to identify many of the 2,000 now believed to have breached the Capitol doors, more than twice the original estimate.
And Attorney General Merrick Garland has been facing criticism for not aggressively going after Donald Trump and his allies who stoked the false claims of election fraud that led to the attack. Garland will be addressing the riot with DOJ employees later on this afternoon. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Overseas, protests continue in Kazakhstan, sparked by a sudden hike in gas prices. And today, the demonstration spread across the country despite concessions from the government. Most of the country uses liquefied gas for their cars, and the price doubled on New Year's Day. Those protesters storming the mayor's office in Kazakhstan's largest city. Smoke could be seen coming from the building, and there were reports of people hearing gunfire on the ground. And it was a similar scene in several other cities as well. The president declared a state of emergency in parts of the country, and he's fired the entire government and reversed those price hikes. But so far, that move doesn't appear to be calming any protests.
Investigators looking at a large house fire in Philadelphia that has killed at least 13 people, including 7 children. It sent 2 people to hospitals, and those numbers could grow as firefighters are inspecting this area where 26 people had been staying. A fire official says there were 4 smoke detectors in the building. None appeared to be working. The Philadelphia Housing Authority says the A ruthless bounty hunter returning to continue his story in the Star Wars universe. A preview of the series still ahead.
And a local high school basketball star reaches an incredible milestone, and the school celebrates. Larry Ramirez with more details coming up in sports.
A new story from the Star Wars galaxy, now streaming.
CNN's Rick Damigella has a look at the book of Boba Fett.
Jabba ruled with fear. I intend to rule with respect.
Tamura Morrison is back as one of Star Wars' most iconic characters in The Book of Boba Fett.
Left for dead. On the sands of Tatooine.
The Book of Boba Fett is kind of a dream come true for anybody that has fallen in love with this character since he was first introduced in The Empire Strikes Back. We get to understand a little bit of where this character is coming from. We get a much more humanized interpretation of who Boba Fett is.
Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich?
Boba Fett has become a crime lord, supplanting the killed Jabba the Hutt and Bib Fortuna, and he has taken the throne on Tatooine. And he's joined by Fennec Shand, who is played by Ming-Na Wen, who is this killer assassin who can take out anybody.
You all accrued wealth and riches under Jabba. You can again. With this man.
There is this old gunslinger kind of attitude, and it's wonderful, and proven storytelling.
I am not a bounty hunter. I'm the crime lord now.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Outside with live that's just like, if the traffic wasn't moving, you'd think that was a picture from yesterday, but it's live because the traffic's moving.
True. I mean, the skies don't get bluer than that. We said it yesterday, but I think they're a little bluer today. It's beautiful. It really is. 70 degrees so far. We're going to be in the mid-70s this afternoon. The low this morning was 38. That's pretty close to the average. The average high is 63, so we'll be above that mark. And we won't be anywhere near the record of 81. That's the record high set back in 1921. It does get cooler tomorrow. Then we get some warmer temperatures by the weekend. A lot of flip-flopping going on. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast coming up.
We're flip-flopping, we're seesawing.
We're ditto-daying. We got it all covered.
We need to come up with a new glossary.
Mm-hmm. We're running out of
for the weather lab.
We're running out of weather statements. We'll come up with something.
Okay.
We'll do some brainstorming. Take a look at this time lapse, though, guys. We're kind of pointed down here, but you get the general idea. Long shadows this morning, now turning into a really nice day. It's kind of fun to watch those shadows as they time lapse there. Anyway, 70 degrees right now. Dew point is at 40. Calm winds. It is beautiful for all of South Texas. 71 Comfort, 71 Kerrville, 72 Bandera up there in the hills, 72 down there in Divine, 71 at Randolph. And as we zoom out some, mostly 70s. You'll find a few 60s in the higher elevations, but they'll be in the 70s here soon. And as we look at the dew points, it's still fairly dry. The more moist air is right along the coast, and that's where we had some fog this morning, but it's basically being pushed east. There's sort of a dry line setting up. Bottom line is the air is dry, and it will only get drier as we get into tomorrow, because we'll get a secondary push of dry air coming in from the north of the cold front. As you look at temperatures, tonight we fall from the 70s into the 40s by tomorrow morning. 42 to start your Thursday. It warms up a little bit by, say, midday. This is noontime, but that secondary surge of cooler and drier air begins to work in right around that time. And notice midday temperatures are already in the 40s in the hill country. That cooler air spreads south, so by 4 o'clock, temperatures here in San Antonio are in the mid to low 50s. It'll be quite a change. We'll get some gusty winds with it too. So that's why I was mentioning earlier, as you head off to work or school tomorrow, make sure you still grab the jacket, because it'll feel a little bit cooler by the afternoon. We think the front will be here between 10 and 12 tomorrow, and through our southern counties by about 2 p.m. or so. Gusts to 30 miles per hour with this front out of the north. We'll see what that does to the mountain cedar count. I had someone ask me about that on Twitter. It's possible it kicks it back up. Let's hope it doesn't, but with those gusty north winds, we know what can happen. And then we'll be near freezing by Friday morning. Rain chances, I wish I could tell you we had rain with this front, but we don't. Our next front doesn't really bring any rain either. It's just a few very light showers, maybe some drizzle on Saturday that would give us any sort of precipitation, and even then it's not going to add up to much. So unfortunately, we still are looking at a dry stretch here. Here is the forecast. So we have an initial front today. This one doesn't actually move through. It's this secondary surge tomorrow that does. Again, around midday or so, turning breezy, and it'll be somewhat cooler. On Friday, moisture returns very quickly, and that allows for clouds to push back in. I think by Friday afternoon and Friday evening, skies turn cloudy, and most of Saturday will be cloudy. We'll get a surge of moisture, a surge of warmer air. It will be somewhat foggy and drizzly to start your Saturday, and then we may see a few showers in the afternoon. Then as we get into Sunday morning, here comes that next front. It clears out everything, and we get windy conditions and partly cloudy skies and cooler conditions Sunday evening. So a lot there in the forecast. Here's a look at the temperatures over the next 7 days, and this kind of tells the story, I think. Nice and warm today, in the 50s Thursday and Friday. Then you jump back into the 70s Saturday, Sunday, and then back into the 50s Monday and Tuesday. So it kind of averages out to what you would expect this time of year, right around 63 degrees. Just a lot of back and forth. 62 tomorrow, with those temperatures falling by the afternoon into the 50s. 31 Friday morning, 53 on Friday, 71 Saturday, as we mentioned, 20% chance of some showers, and then turning windy and cooler behind that next front on Sunday. We'll be back in the 50s with partly cloudy skies and lows in the 30s both Monday and Tuesday morning. We'll be right back.
Have you had any discussion about sitting out this week, or will you play?
I'm playing this week.
Short and sweet, Zeke says he's facing the Eagles in big board sports.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
The Dallas Cowboys will wrap up their regular season when they face the Eagles in Philadelphia Saturday night. At the very least, the Cowboys are guaranteed a playoff spot as the NFC East champs, but they can also improve their playoff seeding with the victory against Philly and two other possibilities. Victories by the Niners, Seahawks, and Bucks would move the Cowboys up to number 3, and a Cowboys win combined with victories with the Niners, Seahawks, and Panthers, and the Cowboys would move up to number 2. It's a long shot, but Cowboys owner Jerry Jones revealed they have no intention of resting players. As you heard, Zeke says he's playing, and he wants to end the regular season on a high note.
I just want to see us be efficient. I want to see us, go out there, dominate the line of scrimmage. Just get going early in that run game, and if given the opportunity, being able to close the game out.
Cowboys star linebacker Micah Parsons has entered COVID-19 protocol, putting his status for the Eagles game in jeopardy. Parsons was preparing for what he expected to, quote, feel like a home game, end quote, Saturday night in Philadelphia, in a game fewer than 2 hours driving from Parsons' hometown of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Parsons hasn't missed a game in his Pro Bowl rookie campaign, during which he's raced to 13 sacks, 30 quarterback hits, 20 tackles for loss, which is tied for most in the NFL, 3 forced fumbles, and 3 passes deflected. Sunday afternoon, the Houston Texans saw their winning streak stopped at 2 straight when they lost on the road to San Francisco 23-7, dropping them to 4-12 this season. Texans first-year head coach David Culley was asked how much has he viewed these final weeks as an opportunity to prove himself as a head coach.
Not at all. I've coached the same way, Brandon. We've just coached better at some things. We're finding out a little bit more about our team as we move on. We're getting better at our guys understanding this system. We got some guys, it's the first year they've been in this system, and it hasn't been like we wanted to be. We haven't had the consistency. But as far as that goes, we're just continuing to coach and continue to get better and, move on from there. And I feel like we're heading in the right direction, Brandon.
Last night, Wagner High School celebrated Austin Nunez, who recently topped 1,500 career points. Coach Rodney Williams said Nunez did it in 2.5 years. The senior point guard will play college ball at Arizona State for Coach Bobby Hurley. Before the Thunderbirds beat Steele last night, 71-68, Austin told the media his teammates are a huge reason why he's topped 1,500 career points.
They play a big part in the reason why myself has had success in the season. Just staying after practice, just getting extra work in, just those little things help us in the long run. So they've been with me this whole ride. It's an honor. I mean, I put in a lot of work in the gym, so just to get recognized is just something cool.
He's a 4-star recruit, and that young man could play ball.
There's guys in the NBA had scored 1,500 points.
Probably true.
Thanks, Larry.
All right, we're going to head over SA Live, where they're cooking up some fun.
Oh, yes, indeed. And cooking up the most important meal of the day, right?
Yes, breakfast. And if you're trying to eat better, Suzanne, Ryan, and Parker with Powerhouse Bakeries here showing us a few healthy twists on the most important meal of the day, breakfast.
It really is important. We got to make sure we've got complex carbohydrates, we've got plenty of protein to make sure you've got energy for your day.
And making breakfast tacos on the healthy side, but also you don't have to give up the meat. We're making sausage ones. Yes, that's real sausage, but you said it's homemade, right?
Homemade.
So it's a lot healthier for you.
Then there is a unique fitness center here in town that will help you burn those calories and build muscle. Our Jen Tobias Stresky checks out Metabolic at La Cantera.
And we are talking about Charlie's Legacy, and it's all about our furry friends. And Vicky Stearman is here. Who's this little girl?
Rosalie. This is Rosalie.
Oh, and you have about how many pit bulls?
40 dogs in our rescue right now. Some are pit bulls. Most of them are pit bulls.
And we're going to tell you how you can help out, because boy, do they need a whole lot of help. Can you look at the camera and smile? Yes, sweetie, you are gorgeous.
Speaking of looking at the camera and smile, we want you to share those holiday break photos of your family, of your fur babies. It doesn't matter. We want to see them at SA Live KSAT on Facebook and Twitter.
Embarrass the kids. Show us the ones in the matching Christmas jammies. We all got them, right? That and a whole lot more is coming up on SA Live. Stick around.